Hey everyone, so I decided to start recapping Veronica Mars. Um, it's a series that I've watched, at least the first three seasons I've watched about three or four times now, all the way through. I watched the movie twice that it got back in like what 2014, 2015 maybe. And I watched the fourth season all of one time. Um, but I decided, you know what, why not um, do this show? Because I do actually like this particular show a lot. And I'll get more into why I like it once I finish recapping everything in this particular pilot episode. So with that being said, so Kristen Bell stars as the titular character Veronica Mars, who is 16 years old and lives in the fictional Southern California town called Neptune High. So she used to be in the in crowd, but um, well, she used to be in crowd not because she was wealthy, but because there's the people who are working class people who work for the rich people, and then the rich people. And these rich people are in the fictional zip code 90909, which wasn't um, talked about this particular episode, but I believe will be talked about either in episode two or in the very recent or very subsequent episodes after this one. And what they call these rich people who live in the 090909 zip code are O9ers, essentially. So she used to be in the in crowd, um, where she used to date the wealthiest man in Neptune, um, or used to date the son of the wealthiest man in Neptune. His name is Duncan Kane. His father is Jake Kane, who is a software billionaire, a computer software billionaire. And his friend, Duncan's friend, best friend, his name is Logan Eccles, who is the son of a movie star. Um, Let me see. Kind of like his father's name is escaping me for some reason. I don't um, remember exactly what. So Logan's father's name is um, man, like seriously, okay. I'm trying to find his father's name, which is seriously freaking escaping me at the moment. Um, Forgive me. I should have looked this up beforehand, but that's my fault for not doing that. Um, Aaron Eccles, who is played by Harry Hamlin. Um, and so, um, his mother's name is Lynn Eccles. So we don't see either of them this particular episode, but that's like basically the kind of immediate family real quick of Logan Eccles. Um, so Veronica had this best friend named Lily Kane, who is, as you guessed it, the sister of Duncan Kane. And Lily, about a year and a half prior, or no, about a year prior to this pilot episode, Lily is killed in her family home by the pool. Um, Her father, or Veronica's father, I should say, he used to be the sheriff of Neptune. And when Lily was killed, he suspected Jake Kane for having killed Lily, because some of the things that we don't know for sure yet that he has said don't add up. So um, we'll obviously get to um, what he thought Jake was lying about um, in future episodes, obviously. But because he accused not only the wealthiest man in Neptune, but the most beloved man in Neptune of killing his own daughter, there was a emergency recall election of who would be the sheriff of Neptune, and he was voted not being the sheriff, and a new guy named Don Lamb replaces him. So, because of this loss of status and loss of job, Veronica's mother, Leanne Mars, she couldn't handle it, started to drink, and then eventually um, ran away um, to wherever she is. And so now Keith Mars is working as a private investigator, helping the local people of Neptune to figure out exactly what is going on with their significant other or their friend or their child or whoever, whatever the case may be. They go to him to figure out what is going on with whatever they need to figure out. And Veronica works there as, I guess, part receptionist, part investigator, even though she doesn't technically have her PI license, at least not at the moment because she's 16 years old. So she works there, with him to help him out with the cases and stuff. And that's, the kind of rundown of what happened prior to this particular episode. So getting into this particular episode, the show goes has an each episode has a little mystery, and then the overall season will have a long-term mystery. If you don't know, this is the first time watching these particular episodes, essentially there's just, like I said, one small episode that's contained in the episode, and then there's the overall mystery that goes on. And the overall mystery is, for this season, is Lily King's murder, because as we will see in a flashback in this episode, there's this employee of Jake Kane named Abel Kuntz, who is arrested for Lily's murder, and as we'll find out, towards the end of the episode, that Keith doesn't, or Keith continues to have like an active file on Lily's case, with notes being less than a month old, or about a month old, and all that stuff. But so anyway, getting into the beginning of the episode with Veronica, she goes to school one day, or one morning, and sees this kid, Wallace Fennell, who is 16 years old at the time as well, take to the flagpole on campus. And she cuts him down, finds out that he works at this convenience store called Sack and Pack, where and the night before he was found at school, he was working a shift there, and two of these biker gang guys who are part of this biker gang called the Pacific Coast Highway Gang, or PCH for short. Um, they come into the convenience store, start grabbing up some bottles of liquor, stuffing them into their jacket pockets, and don't pay for them. And the only thing they pay for is a pack of gum before they leave. So he had hit um, the silent alarm to get the police over there. And once they do get there, he recants his story, saying that yeah, they did pay for it, not um, they they didn't steal it essentially. So, but they're arrested anyway, awaiting a trial for having uh, shoplifted and stuff like that. So now Wallace has a PCH biker gang on his ass because he's essentially causing them to end up going to jail, possibly for him um, uh, activating the silent alarm. So Veronica helps him get the PCH vectors off their trail um, by creating this elaborate, domino effect where she um, she places a fake bong, or like she has a fellow student create a bong to plant in Logan Eccles' locker, and they do these random um, locker searches at Neptune, and so they just happen to randomly, I should say, because she mentions that she knows when these supposed random um, locker searches are supposed to happen, and so she plants it in his locker so that it'll be found in his locker, and it's found, it's taken to the police station, and then the bong is, booby trapped to kind of emit smoke. And so when they set the set the bong off, the fire department is called in to um, respond to it, and one of the firefighters who is still friendly with the Mars family, he switches out the convenience store tape with a tape Veronica made where she filmed um, the men in the police department getting sexual favors from women at a strip club in town. And so um, she ends up giving the convenience store tape to Wallace, and the case against the PCH biker guys ends up falling apart. Um, and so that's sort of like the case of the week. But in a sort of C plot sort of part of the episode, um, Keith is asked by Celeste Kane, who is the mother of Lily and Duncan Kane, to investigate Jake, because now all of a sudden he has no sexual appetite. He is working long hours. He's saying, I'm working, I have this meeting late at night or whatever. And so she asked him to follow him. And so, but before he could actually follow Jake around, um, he is called to Texas because of a bail jumper having been located there, and he needs to go there to make sure that he gets the guy to come back to California, and so in lieu of Keith, Veronica goes to follow Jake, and so upon following Jake from work, he goes to this motel called the Camelot, and he is seen going to room 6, where the woman inside doesn't actually come out. But so Veronica ends up getting the a photo of the license plate belonging to the car she assumes, or belonging to the woman she assumes, and um, after Keith comes home, he sees the photo of the license plate, um, and we assume he realizes who the car belongs to, and then tells her, you know what, we're not taking this case anymore. We're gonna get off the case. Don't bother trying to deal with it anymore. And yada 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 yada. So, what she ends up doing is she ends up um, impersonating this woman Inga, who works as the receptionist at the police station. Um, and it seems like Inga's a German immigrant or something like that, or Eastern European immigrant, and so she puts on that accent to try to run the police the license plate, and finds out that the car is registered to her mom, Leanne. Um, so now we're left wondering, why was Leanne there? Why was Leanne in town, and why was she meeting Jake? Um, and more importantly, why did Keith not tell her this? Um, why did um, he lie about not wanting to take the case anymore and all that stuff? So this spurs her to um, go to the PI office late one night and waits for him to leave. And um, she goes into the safe that's in his office, his personal office, and the PI office, um, and that's how she finds out about the big case file on Lily Kane, um, because she's trying to figure out if he's hiding anything, um, even though she knows that he is. So, and now she feels like she doesn't have really anyone to trust, even though before his lying, she had felt like he was one of the only people she could trust, based on the fact that pretty much 90% of the town um, turned their backs on the Mars family as a whole because of him accusing Jake of killing Lily and all that stuff. So um, so now, um, that's pretty much episode 1 in a nutshell. Um, and so basically what I think of the show as a whole is, I like the fact that they incorporate a voiceover for Veronica's character throughout the entire episode and the entire series. I also like the fact that they incorporate flashbacks, because just having a voiceover of her explaining her past and the town's past of the last year, um, really, I don't think would have been as effective. So I'm glad that they incorporated flashbacks to kind of give a little bit more context to it. So and I like the whole um, larger mystery that encompasses the entire season, not just a single episode. And I like the fact that they also have episodic mysteries that are self-contained and all that, and because it kind of breaks up the monotony of trying to figure out like what really happened, in the specific mystery and all that. Um, so yeah, I think the creator of the show, Rob Thomas, was really um, good in incorporating that. Um, and I mean, I'm not really sure how I feel about the light, the bright kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? The bright kind of, um, bright white kind of clothy look to the flashbacks. I guess it's just to to distinguish between past and present, but um, I mean, I kind of like it, but I kind of don't either. Um, and maybe they could have done a different color rather than having it like bright white looking. Who knows? But I mean, but other than that, that's like my maybe only kind of issue with this particular season is that. Otherwise, I think this season is fantastic, um, and it's really, I think it was pretty well um, made, and all that. So with that, I will do each. I'm not gonna. Well, obviously, I'm gonna be doing each episode specifically, but um, I will. I don't. I might end up doing like more than one episode for season two because it's slightly structured slightly differently. But I mean, obviously, I'll get to that when it comes. But um, yes, I might end up doing like maybe like maybe I'll do like four four episodes, two to four episodes for season two, and stuff like that. So, but with that said, I will be back next time for episode two.